Good morning.
Hey, Miss Clausen, can you hear me?
Yep, I can.
Oh, great. My hotspot's working. Awesome.
Good.
Sorry, I'm in Kansas
Excellent.
right now, so still in the car.
Nice. And you're not driving, so that's good.
Yeah.
All right, good. What part of Kansas?
I don't know. A lot of cornfields.
That's pretty much the Midwest, right? So I was in
Yeah.
Iowa and Illinois. So
Uh, Colorado.
nice.
Not much gold, but it's all right.
Yeah. All right. Well, good. Glad you're here. Just if it starts messing up, you can always watch the recording too. So if it, starts cutting in and out. All right. I missed you guys. Turn on your cameras so I can see your faces. Hi, V. Hi, Matt. All right. Sorry, I was a little noisy with my paper. Oh, no worries, Tashina. Thanks for letting me know. All right. So, first of all, I hope you had it nice not logging on to Zoom for 2 days, at least for me, right? It was kind of a break. You were like, oh, I can still do all this work. I'm a little concerned. I had some people not do an assignment that was due last night. Does a vehicle project sound familiar? Yep, Matt did it. Veronica did it, right? Who else did it? Some of you missed it. Yay, Tashina did it. So it didn't take too long, right? It was. I'm sorry, my cat wants to join in on our conversation right now. Sorry about that. I will try to get rid of it. He's literally just under my seat. So, but the vehicle project, it was parts 1 through 3 that was due last night. Yikes, lots of you didn't do it. Here's the bad news. If you didn't do parts 1 through 3, how do you do parts 4 through 7? Right? Because that's what'll be after that. And I don't accept late work. Yikes. We are at a point in the semester that you have to be real careful and get everything done. I sent you announcements. I sent you messages. It's on Canvas. I don't know, right? Make sure you get those things done. So if you didn't do your vehicle project by last night when it was due, this is a one-time offer. I will let you turn it in by tonight for 50% credit, which is way more generous than I normally am, because normally late is 0 credit. Yeah. So 50% is definitely better than 0. I promise. I don't think you have to be a math magician to know that. So, okay. So that being said, we have some stuff to do today, but I feel like you guys might, I don't know what happened to my last class. I don't know if I put them in a coma or what happened, but they all just sat there. We didn't even get through all our slides because I would say, hey, what's this? And they would all just sit there like this. So I'm not doing all the math. I already know all the math, right? You guys are doing the math. So that being said, I have a 5-minute mindfulness Monday, but I'm afraid it might put you in a coma. So don't let it put you in a coma. Okay. But I do love this mindfulness Monday because it's a really good one. And so if you need to turn off your camera and do something else because you can't have a mindfulness Monday right now because you're going to fall asleep, that's fine. But for a lot of us, it's really important that we do this. Okay. So we are going to do it. You're welcome to turn off your camera. Okay. And like I said, it's kind of a long one. Okay.
Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me for this 5-minute guided meditation to practice positive affirmations and removing negative thoughts. Find a quiet and peaceful place to meditate and assume a comfortable upright position. Closing your eyes, take in 3 natural breaths and bring in awareness. Find a natural rhythm in your breath, breathing in through your nose and breathing out through your mouth. Without any effort, allow your body to become relaxed while you focus on your breath. Become aware of the sensations within as the air flows in and out. Feeling the sensations your breath creates, let's take a few moments to imagine that with each breath you take in, you are breathing in positivity, and with each breath you release, imagine it is the negativity that is holding you down. Breathe in positive energy. Breathe out negative energy. Repeat to yourself, today I will train my mind to see the good in everything. Today I will let go of negative thoughts. With each breath, feel yourself getting stronger and more refreshed. Take a moment to strengthen these positive and encouraging feelings that are flowing through you right now. Positive energy is everywhere and is not hard to find when you look for it. It is in the well wishes of a friend. It is in the dog's tail as it wags when it greets you. It is in the music of the guitar strings and the voice of a loved one. Bring that energy inward. It is as fundamental as the breath we breathe. Now look inward and at the negative energy you are holding onto right now. Shine a light on it briefly and say to it, there is no space for you here right now. You are not welcome. Return your thoughts to your positive energy and feel lighter and at peace. If even just for now, the negative feelings you have been holding on to have vanished, there is nothing left but love and light and possibilities. When you're ready, open your eyes and carry these feelings of positive emotions with you throughout your day. Be well and be safe.
All right. So I really like that one. I know it's a little bit long, but it's still a really good one, especially because it can help just relax you. I don't know about negative thoughts for you, but I have lots of negative thoughts that come into my head especially when I have a lot to do or when I'm stressed. So that's a good thing for us to practice getting rid of. I'm so sorry, Annie, are you able to hear anything now? I know some of us are having some tech issues too. I don't know if Annie can hear. I'm gonna check your mic at the bottom left. Any luck, Annie? Okay, so that's a good one to keep in mind. I really like that one. So speaking of the vehicle project, right? It didn't take you long. Those of you that did the vehicle project didn't take you long, right? Okay, I should see some cameras on. I know some of you can't turn your camera on because of tech issues, like Josh and Tashina. And Annie can't hear anything we're saying, but Lily, Janessa, there you go. I don't know, sometimes Ruki's connection is problematic. Judith, I'd love to see your faces. It's been a long time. It's since last Tuesday. I know I've emailed some of you. So the vehicle project does not take long, but you definitely need to do it. If you do it by tonight, if you didn't do it yet, you'll get 50% credit. Okay, if you already did it, no worries, you'll get full credit. I just have to grade them. Other things I need to grade, your quizzes, haven't graded them yet, but I will. Some of you are like, oh, don't bother. I didn't like it. It was bad. Or yeah, please, can you look at it and see if you can raise my grade at all? Hi, Tashina. So yeah, I'll take a look at those. They're just time consuming, right? Because I have to watch the video and then I have to pull up everything else. So it's just crazy time. But I will do it. So any other questions for me before we get started with our new stuff? Everybody okay? All right. Did anyone do something more fun since they didn't have to be in class?
My daughter turned 16, so we got her permit.
Oh, how fun. Now, did you go to the DMV or did you go to a third party place?
We went to a third party, but it turned out to be just as bad as DMV.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that was so bad that we left our phone number and they said they would call us when we were next on the list. And it was 2.5 hours later, we got a phone call and we drove back and I still had to wait a little bit.
When were you trying to go, like on the weekend?
No, it was we first went there on a Thursday and they said they were too busy. And it was 2 hours before closing and they said there's no way that we'd be able to be seen in that time. And then we went the following day on Friday morning and we went early at 8 and we still weren't seen until it was like almost 11 o'clock.
That's insane.
Yeah. But she got her permit.
Yay! Does she like to drive? Like, is she interested in driving?
Yeah, she's always asking me, and it's really annoying. It's nice, you know, but I got 2 other kids, so I don't want her driving with them in the car.
Right.
So she's
And
always trying to get the keys.
yeah, it is a little stressful too as the parent in the car.
Yes, especially when you
Like,
say go left and she turns right, so.
right. Or when you do a roundabout and they want to go in the wrong way. That's terrifying. Yeah. So I actually paid for driving classes for all of my kids because it was my sanity could not take it. I could not take it. My youngest had the least amount of driving lessons. I literally think I paid for one, and he is by far the best driver. He was just more confident going in, so he's a really good driver. So not that
That's
my other
awesome.
ones are bad drivers, but they just were more nervous Nellies, than the rest of them. Ruki, you got your COVID vaccine yesterday. Good for you. How are you feeling today? Oh, good. Perfect. I take 2 of mine for their second dose today. And then I take my last one on Friday from my youngest has to get his last one on Friday. And now I'm a little annoyed because they moved him inside. So now I have to walk instead of the drive-through one. Ruki, did you have to walk or did you get to drive through? Or did you go in a store like a Walgreens or whatever? Because you're not even in Arizona. Oh, Walgreens. That's where my husband got his. Yep. Yeah. So now I have to walk, apparently. Annoying. I really liked being in the car, and it was just like, yeah, I'll just sit here, right? And then just do it. But now I have to go to ASU. Annoying, but I'm so excited they're getting vaccinated, and I really don't have to go, but it's peace of mind. They want me to go, right? Okay. So let's get started. I have a couple warm-up problems for you. Anyone else have any good news? Or news in general? You can have bad news, I guess. Okay. Brady's on a road trip. He's in Kansas, in case you didn't hear him before. He might not be in Kansas anymore, right? It's quick sometimes. You never know. I know you liked that reference. I appreciate it. Yeah. It's unbelievable how bad my references can be. Yeah, it's true. Hey, by the way, anyone know who Wayne Gretzky is? Yeah. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Fact, right? That's a great statistic, by the way. Okay, we did our Mindfulness Monday. Look at this. Oh, apparently I have a handout. I should probably give it to you. Let me see if it's really the handout. But you buy a t-shirt or a shirt for $28. That would be an expensive t-shirt, but probably reasonable. And the tax rate is 8.5%. Find the sales tax and the total cost. Can you do that for the shirt? Make sure you put dollar signs, everything like that. So find the sales tax and the total cost of that shirt. And I will see if I have this handout. Just in case you want that handout. Otherwise, I'm just going to give you a few more seconds to work on that. Okay, is everybody ready? You have your answers? Or am I too fast? Okay, Matt's ready. Tashina's ready. Okay, 3.
Answers for both of them?
No, just the first one.
Oh,
So
okay.
just the first one, right? The t-shirt, tax and total cost. That's it. Tax and total cost. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Matt, thank you for giving me both the tax and the total cost. I know it's stressful. That whole reading thing, listening thing. It's a lot. V, good job. V's got those dollar signs going on and both answers. Good job, Josh. Danessa and gave me, oh, I think Danessa, you gave me, did you give me both or did you just give me the tax? Make sure you give me the tax and the total, right? So that's what gets people on these questions is you don't read the question carefully and so you only answer part of it. So be very careful. Yes. And thank you for the late dollar signs, Lily. I appreciate that. You're like, those were supposed to be there. I get it. Yeah. And more does mark you wrong if you don't have your dollar signs in there, which is kind of annoying. Oh my goodness, driver, keep your eyes on the road. That was terrifying. Oh, you're not. Are you my driver? Brady, is that the driver? I know you're in Kansas, and so it's pretty rural, but seriously, don't stress me out. I have enough problems as it is, right? Okay. But I appreciate seeing you. So, hello. Okay, let's do part 2. Any questions on that? Did I get an answer from everyone? You did? Do you have any questions on how we got those answers? Okay, so let's look at the second part. I don't know if you did it. A laptop's on sale for 30% off, which would be nice, right? And the original price is $1,049. How much is the discount and what is the sale price? 2 questions, right? Discount and sale price. Give me dollar signs. Give me all of that. I'll give you a few seconds to work on it. By the way, I have to buy a laptop. I have to figure out what I'm going to buy, not for me, but for my daughter who's graduating. It's going to be her graduation gift. So I take recommendations. Let me know what you think as a college student is a good one. You can just tell me like Mac, PC, should I get a Surface? I don't know. She would love an iPad, but that's not going to cut it. She's going to need something else besides an iPad. So, but she would like a MacBook, an iPad, and the Apple Pencil. Yeah, you're welcome. What am I made of? Money? No. I know, Matt. It's killing me. I agree. That's what I use for work, but I didn't buy it. Work bought it. So that's the bonus. Okay, does everybody have this answer ready or are you still working? I don't want to stress you out. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Brady was all ready and he's in a car. Okay, so Josh and Brady's answers match. Tashina, if it's a discount, are you going to add it or are you going to subtract it? Because I will be your salesperson. I will be your salesperson if that is my tip. Right?
You said, is anybody rushing? And I said, hold on 1 second. And then I felt rushed. Dang it.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So yes,
okay,
I added it, but I have it written
down. Thank goodness we don't take an oral exam, right? That would be stressful.
Yes, exactly. I'm telling you. Everybody's always faster than me. I'm just slow and old.
Well, sometimes people do this and then sometimes they do this. And I'm not, so maybe I thought it was this.
My bad.
Okay.
My bad.
This is going to be a great recording, by the way. Okay. Any questions on those? Okay. Okay, so perfect. Those are things we've kind of already talked about, right? We already knew that kind of stuff. But what's nice is now we've entered finance. First of all, I think it's a little more practical than your probability issues, right? Yeah, Matt, thanks for chiming in there. This is a lot more practical for us, especially where most of you are in your lives. A lot of you are like strapped for cash, let's say. I don't think anyone has money falling out of their pockets. Maybe you do. If you do, you could just pass it around because I'm sure we could all use it. So the point being that it's really important to become financially literate before you have any other issues, because right now people are bombarding you with wanting you to buy things, right? Every advertisement you hear wants you to buy something. And school costs money, right? So a lot of you might already have some student loans, or you might end up getting into some student loans. And so scholarships are important, right? All of these different things, and just budgeting your money in general. When you don't have a lot of money, it's important to have a budget. Some of you are like, I don't even have a job right now. How would I have a budget? Well, think about what your future job will be and how you will live within those means, right? Because if you live beyond your means now, you're never going to live within those means because you're going to be paying off that previous debt, right? And some of you are like, tell me about it. I already have that, already doing that. It's hard. So no matter what your financial situation is now, the material that we're going to learn is practical information for you that you can use, maybe not right this second, but in the future. So you started your car project, right? And some of you are like, dude, I'm not buying a car right now. Like, I have $2. I don't know why I would think about buying a car. That's totally fine. But at some point, you're going to need transportation unless you decide to move to a city that has amazing public transportation, not Phoenix. You know, because we don't have great public transportation here. We have some, but overall, it's not a city that has a lot. So yeah, cars are on kids' minds all the time. Cars are on my husband's mind all the time. He and I might not be on the same page with cars. But you have to be careful because, boy, those car companies really try to get you, right? They want you to finance your car for 84 months. 84 months. Did anyone look at that? 84 months. What kind of car loan would you have for 84 months? That's insane, right? 7 years for your car? I feel like that's a bad move, right? Some of you are like, I would never finance a car. I would just pay cash for a car, right? I think that's a great move. I would never knock that. But if you decide to finance, you need to understand how it works, right? And that's what we're trying to do, because I will never forget the day I bought my first car. My husband was with me. We've been married almost 27 years. We were at the car dealership. We had bought used cars previously, but we were buying a brand new car. And you've probably seen them on TV. If you've never bought a new car, like the finance people, they would like pass you a piece of paper, like, this is how much. Yeah, we were doing that game. Yeah. And I was like, no, that number's not going to work. You know, like, this is the number I want. And the finance manager came from out behind the desk and walked all the way over to me. And he looked straight at my husband, did not look at me. And he said, that's mathematically impossible, what you are asking for. Like, those exact words came out of his mouth. And I said, I'm afraid you just made a mistake, because I'm a math teacher, just so you know. And he like did not know what to say. And my husband was like, I think I'm going to the bathroom because Karen's coming out right now. Like, it was fun. It was super fun. So, yeah, they were not nice. At the end of the day, when we did buy the car, and he said, you know, we made $50 off your car. Like, that's what he said to me out loud in words. And I looked at him and I said, $50 more than you should have made. And I walked away. Like, don't do that. Mathematically impossible. No way. So if you know what you're doing going in, you can't get trapped into their little games of, what do you want your payment to be each month? We're not talking about what do I want my payment to be each month. I want to know how much I'm paying for the car, right? So be very careful. So this would apply also to a house, and we'll talk about house loans. And if you're looking for a house right now, I'm so sorry. I hope you are not looking to buy a house right now, because that is a sad, sad situation. So nobody should buy a house right now. If you sell a house, that would be fine, as long as you have somewhere else to move, because you're not buying a house right now. In Arizona, you could probably buy one somewhere else in the country, but not in Arizona. If you want more information on the housing market, just Google it. You'll see all kinds of crazy things, right? Okay, so that being said, that's why we're starting our car project. By the way, if you didn't look at it and you didn't do it yet, it's okay. It won't take you very long. It's just looking at types of cars. We're going to do the mathematics of the cars later on. That's why that assignment's not due till later. Okay, but I do want to show you your finance formula. We have a formula sheet, and I'm going to give it to you little bits at a time, okay? Because if I gave you the whole thing, it's a little scary, okay? So I'm going to give it to you little bits at a time. What I'm giving you right now just has PF4, which is simple interest, what you did your mini lesson on last night, and then PF5, which is compound interest, which is what we'll do tomorrow, okay? So you'll do your textbook reading on PF5 tonight. So here's all the formulas. We'll talk about why I have so many versions of the formula on this formula sheet for you, but it's really for your benefit, but it's not beneficial if you don't understand it. So you might want to have this up on another screen, or write all these down on a piece of paper if you don't have access to writing electronically or a printer, but you might want to take some notes on what these things represent. And I hope you do that when you do your textbook reading or your mini lesson. Okay, so simple interest. Principal. Principal is the money you start with, right? So it might be money you put in an account, or it might be money that you take out for a loan. But right now we're talking about putting it in the bank, okay? So interest is what you get out of leaving it in the bank, or what they're charging you if it's a loan. And they usually give you APR, the annual percentage rate, the total interest that's going to be paid in a year. For most long-term simple interest loans, it's common for interest to be paid on an annual basis. In that case, interest would be earned each year on the principal. Now, sometimes they put this little zero underneath the P. That just means it's your initial principal. So if you don't like that, you notice on my formula sheet, I don't have it on there, right? I left it off, but in our textbook, it seems to have it. This is important that you understand these things. So I stands for interest. A is the balance in the account after a certain period of time. P is your principal, that's the beginning, you're starting. R is the interest, and remember how to change a percent to a decimal, which you just practiced, so you're okay. And then T, this is the one that's a little bit hard. T is the time in years. So for example, if they say 6 months, what would you put in there for, they say you left it in there 6 months. What would you put in there? There you go. Tashina said 0.5, because it's half a year. You would do 6 over 12. Very good. Now, there's basically two formulas, and they're related. This is the most popular one, and I'm just going to write it over here. I equals PRT. So principal times rate times time. That's simple interest. Then this one that looks really complicated is not. The amount is the principal plus the interest. I just wrote it a little bit easier, a little more normal, right? So, and you could replace this interest with those letters, right? Because if we know interest is principal times rate times time, then we know P plus I would be P plus PRT. And here's a nice example for you. You borrowed $10,000 from a friend. Boy, you have nice friends. I don't. And you get a 3% interest rate for 5 years. That is pretty nice. They're loaning you $10,000 for 5 years, and they're only making you pay 3% simple interest. Nice. You're going to repay your friend the $10,000, but you're also going to pay them that interest. So first they found the interest, which was 10,000, because that's the P. And what I do when I do these formulas, I do this and I label it. So that's my P. This right here is my R. This right here is my T. And I might even write it over here. I might go P equals 10,000, R equals 0.03, and T equals 5 years. If you start writing some sort of little T or legend for yourself, it's very helpful, okay? And then it wants to know how much I'm gonna pay back. So it wants to know my A. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that one. That's the part I don't know. And so you plug in 10,000 times 0.03 times 5, and you end up with 1,500. But you don't have to pay them back 1,500. You have to pay them back $10,000 plus $1,500. But still a pretty nice friend, right? Yeah, that's like your grandma loaning you money, right? It's not reality. Okay, so now you try. Carlos is investing $15,000 at 2% interest for 29 years. How much, read carefully, is in the account at the end of 29 years? Which, by the way, Carlos is a fool because he should be getting better than simple interest, but it's okay. So simple interest. So calculate that, and we'll get that ready in just a second in the chat. Okay, how are you guys feeling? Are you ready yet? Am I too fast? Okay, I'm too fast. I'll give you a little more time. Annie, do you figure out your speakers? Can you hear us? Okay, good. All right, are we good now? Yay. Okay, let's put it in the chat. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, I see a lot of the same answers. Danessa, I don't know where you got that, but I want that much money. I want Carlos to have that much money for sure. So let's take a look through this problem just to make sense of it. Here's one way to do it, okay? So if you use the formula A equals, you could do that. Did anyone use this formula before I go over it? Okay, so I'm going to go to this way because I suspect this is how most of you did it. Am I right? Did you use the interest formula? So And when you read through it, I'm hoping you do things like this. You go, oh, okay, so 15,000, that must have been our principal because it says he invests that much. This 2% is our rate, and then our time is 29 years. So 15,000 times 0.02 times 29. Okay. And so these are my expectations for what you write down on your paper. Like, so when you take the quiz, you know what you're doing, or when you're doing your homework, you can help yourself. Definitely write the formula down. That's very helpful because we're going to get a lot of formulas and you want to make sure you chose the right formula, right? And then show me what you plugged in, because this is where I'll catch it if you typed in something cuckoo. There you go. Like Danessa put in 0.2 instead of 0.02. If that's what Danessa did, I can find the mistake. And I don't have to take off a bunch of points because the only thing that she did was made her percent wrong, right? So that's a smaller question than choosing the right formula, right? Putting everything else in there. This step is not necessary, but if you have it, it's fine. And then hopefully you have your interest. Then what you did was you took your interest and you added it to your principal to get that $23,700, right? And this is really nice if you have a dollar sign, if you have a comma. I know that Tashina had a decimal point and 2 zeros, that's fine, you know, but it's really nice if we put in all of that info. Anyone have questions on that one? Okay. Now, is this still on your worksheet, I hope? Let me see. I don't even know where my worksheet went. That's what I was afraid of. Did I give you your worksheet yet? Yeah, I did. Let me see. Is this the next problem on here? Those two. There we go. $13,000 at 7% simple interest for only 3 months. Okay. So let's try. You can try both 1 and 2, and then just privately message me when you get your answer, because I don't want to hold you up. So like if you're working faster than someone else, that's totally fine. Just don't spoil it for everyone and give it to me. So it might be quiet for a few minutes because I'm going to be answering in the chat. Okay. If you don't know how to do something, or if you have a question, let me know. So, but it's really good to make that little key for yourself. Okay. So go ahead and try these 2 problems, and then you can just answer me in the chat when you have it, or ask me questions. Got my first right answer. Woohoo! Keep going, guys. I'm thinking some of you might be rounding, but I can't figure out where you're getting your number from. So on the first one, your principal is 13,000, right? Your interest is 0.07. What is 3 months? What do you put in your calculator for 3 months? Three months is what part of a year? There you go. It's 3 divided by 12, which is 0.25, right? Be careful. Don't use 0.3. There's not 10 months in a year. There's 12 months in a year. So 3 divided by 12 is 0.25. So check that. All right, so did everybody correct their question 1? All right, so any questions on number 1? Let me make sure we get that. So on number 1, this is how I do these problems. The first thing I do is 13,000. It says she invested it, so that's my principal, $13,000. When it says 7%, I literally just write down R equals 0.07, so I don't forget, make a mistake there. Then it says 3 months. This is the part that some of you made a mistake on. So remember, it's always in years. So 3 divided by 12 would be 0.25 because it's only a quarter of a year. And it says how much is in the account at the end of 3 months. You can do interest equals principal times rate times time, and then add your principal plus your interest for the amount. Or you could use the formula A equals P times 1 plus RT, which does this in one step. So I don't care which way you do it. It doesn't matter. So if you do it this way, you do 13,000 times 0.07 times 0.25, and you get your $227.50, and then you add your 13,000 plus 227.50 to get your answer, which is $13,227.50. And that's how you should write your answer, with a dollar sign, with a decimal point, with a comma, all of those things. If you use this formula, notice it just does it for you. Here's your 13,000, 1 plus 0.07 times 0.25. If you do this on your calculator, it'll go straight to that answer, okay? So I don't care which one you use, and you should be pretty good at Desmos by now, right? Using that Desmos calculator or your calculator. If you're using your calculator, just make sure if you need parentheses, you can have them. So any questions on number 1? You good now? Did I clear those up for you? All right, so let's look at number 2, because this is the part that's hard. It's not the math that's hard. It's the reading the problem that's hard. So how much would you need to deposit? What did we call the deposit? Which letter is it? It's P. So P is what we don't know. That's what we're looking for, okay? That's what we're looking for. So then go to your formula sheet. Do you see I have a formula that says P equals something? Yeah, so that's the one I want to use, right? I just did all the algebra for you and rearranged the formula. So you could do it. If you know a lot of algebra, you could do it the other way, but I just saved you some time, okay? And maybe some frustration, I hope. Okay, so now you know which formula to use. So you're going to write down your formula. P equals A over 1 plus RT. And the reason I have those parentheses there is because if you're using a calculator like this, you'll need them. If you use Desmos, remember, as long as you hit the fraction button, you'll have your denominator by itself, but just be careful. Okay, so we want to have $3,000, oops. We want to have $3,000 in the account. So what is that 3,000? What letter is that? This is the hard part. Yeah, Tashina's on it. I don't know if anybody else is, but Tashina's on it. So make sure that you know that that must be the A. A is 3,000. Okay, and then what's this 5 years? It's already in years, so that must be our T is 5 years, and our R is this 2%, which is 0.02, right? Okay, so then you plug it in, 3,000 over 1 plus 0.02 times 5. And that would give you your answer. So get that ready in the chat if you didn't already do it. Brady, you don't have to put it in there because you already put it in there for me. So no worries. But everybody, after you do that, because I just did all the hard part, put it in the chat. Because you probably, did you do your mini lesson already, Tashina, for PF5? Because that might be why, because that's compounded. That's a compounding formula. Okay, does everybody have their answer ready? I told you, all you're doing is putting this in your calculator. So I did the hard part. Everybody got it ready? Annie, you ready? Judith, you ready?
Yeah,
Okay.
almost reading it.
Okay. All you should be doing is putting it in your calculator, right? Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Very nice. Tashina, where did that number come from? Are you on a different worksheet? What are we on?
Okay, so I added these numbers up first. Wait, there we go. I did the bottom first, so it was 5 times 1.02, and it gave me this answer.
Oh, hold on. Order of operations would say which is first, your multiplication or your addition.
I should have put the whole thing in my calculator. I was breaking it down. You're right.
Yep, no, so, but order of operations says I have to do the multiplication first. So I'd have to do the 0.02 times 5.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I think Ruki, wouldn't it be divided by 1.1, not 11? Judith, Matt, Annie, good. Josh, very nice. So do you see how these problems are a little bit harder because you have to think them through and you have to choose which formula you're going to use? Once you know which formula to use, it's easy to push the buttons on your calculator most of the time, right? Tashina, unless you do something crazy. The calculator does what you tell it to, but you just have to make sure you're careful about your reading. Okay, so notice I have it worked out here. I don't know why I don't have my work right here. That's a little annoying. Oh, there, I put it on the next page. So there you go. So any questions on those two? Better now for everyone? Okay. All I want you to do is read this next problem where it says, what interest rate would you need? And I want you to get ready in the chat in about 20 seconds, what variable we're solving for. So we're looking for a formula that says something equals, so a letter equals. So which letter are we looking for? So read that problem and then get ready in the chat, which letter are we looking for? Okay. All right, so do you have it ready? What variable are we looking for? Which letter are we looking for? Get it ready in the chat. So all you're writing, you're not telling me an answer yet, right? You're not telling me a number yet. You're just telling me what letter we're looking for. 3, 2, 1, go. Interesting that you all think we're finding I, except Ruki. Ruki says we're finding R. Why are we finding R, Rookie? Yeah, you guys did not read the problem. I don't know what is happening. Okay, you ready? I'm going to read it out loud. Listen to it. If the reading part is hard, just close your eyes and listen to what I'm saying right now. The question says, what interest rate would you need on an account in order to have a deposit of $1,000 grow to $1,500 in 2 years? So let's go over what we know. So what is this deposit of $1,000? What letter is that? Oh, I have lots of choices. I have A or P. It could be I too. Uh-oh, we better go over some reading vocab, right? Thanks, Matt. It's just Z. There's no Z in the formula. We'll just throw it out there. Okay, so if we're depositing, remember that's how much we're putting in initially. So if it's an initial thing, something that happens in the beginning, that is our principal. So our principal is $1,000. What is this 1,500? That is the amount in our account now. So that is our A, $1,500. This is the hardest thing to do, I'm telling you. So that's why we're spending time on it. This one is hard. Okay, so now I want you to say, okay, what is this 2 years? It's time. T equals 2. So what do we not know? We don't know R. If you read through the problem and you don't see a percent anywhere, that's what you're looking for. The percent is always the rate. It's not R or I, it's just R because it's the rate. We don't have a percent, it has to be the R. Now, we could find out what I is, right? We already know what I is. How could I find I? Given this information right here, how could I find I? It says I had $1,000, now I have $1,500. How much money did I get? I put in 1,000, now I have 1,500. $500. Yeah. So remember, the formula for the amount in the account is principal plus the interest. Well, if I know I have 1,500 now, and I put in 1,000, how much interest did I earn? $500, because you subtracted interest would be the amount minus the principal. So I would be 1,500 minus 1,000. Do you see how that's the hard part about this math problem? It's not the math, right? They already gave you the formula. It's figuring out what they had, what they gave you, and then what formula do I use? So the interest is 500. So the formula I'm going to use is this one right here, the one that says R equals I divided by PT. So R equals I divided by PT. So now you plug in the numbers. I'm not even going to write it down for you yet. And then you type in the chat. We did a huge research project, why people are unsuccessful in their math class. And guess what it is? Reading comprehension. That's the #1 reason why people are unsuccessful in their math class, is reading comprehension. And our advisors, we didn't realize, our advisors were telling our students, oh, take math before you take reading. It's fine. You'll do fine. That's not true. We had to retrain our advisors and say, no, they need to take their reading class first and then take their math class, because they will not be successful in their math class if they have reading comprehension issues. So if that's you, just focus on your reading, okay? Okay, everybody getting it ready in the chat? Everybody have an answer? I'm going to give you 30 more seconds. Be patient. Whatever you put in the chat should have a percent sign behind it, by the way, just so you know. All right, let's get it ready in there. I want an answer from everyone. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of you. 3, 2, 1, go.
I wrote 24 initially, but it was a typo. I meant 25.
You got it. I wouldn't know how you got 24, so. All right, so let's look at this. Tashina, it's a calculator button pushing issue for you because your numbers are right. So the 500 is in our numerator. In our denominator is our 1,000 times 2. So what we really have is 500 divided by 2,000, which should be 0.25 or 25%. And Tashina, I know exactly what's happening to your calculator. I'll show you if you're not using Desmos, or if you are using Desmos, let's look. If you do this, 500 divided by 1,000, yeah, so what it's doing is it's doing this. I can't even get it to do it wrong on here. It's doing this. Tashina, what your calculator is doing is it's doing 500 divided by 1,000, then times 2. Okay, that's where you're getting 1. So, and I'm going to show you on this formula. Do you see how I have parentheses around the P and the T?
Uh-huh.
So in your calculator, do 500, then hit your division sign, then start a parentheses and just type in 1,000. Don't type any more parentheses yet. So 1,000 times 2, and then end your parentheses, just like you see in this formula sheet. And then you get 0.25. So the calculator only follows order of operations. So that's why I tried to write my formulas where I want it to look just like that if you're using a scientific calculator or something like this. Desmos is a smarter calculator and knows people make mistakes. So Desmos changes it for you. So when I tried to do this, when I did 500 divided by 1,000, do you see how it kept it in the denominator? So it got the right answer. So Desmos is smarter and knowing us as humans, how we're going to do it. This is just a little older technology, you know, and same with yours. So it's having a little bit of trouble. And so that's why I wrote my formulas, because I don't know what you're using. So I wrote my formulas. So if you type it in like I have on my formula, you will get it right. Okay.
Okay, thank you. I was wondering, I was like, I know I'm not crazy. I do equations well, but.
Yeah, no, you're not crazy. And it's just the calculator button pushing. And that's what we need to practice in class too, besides just the reading part. Okay, now we have a couple more to do, but I have all the answers in here. So you could go over them. It's not a problem. This second one right here, notice that when we read the problem, I'll just go up to the problem. It says you invest $500 in a savings account that pays 5.5% simple interest. So if we say, okay, we invest that, that must be P. It pays this much percent, so that must be R. And the question is how long? So what we're looking for is time, okay? So as soon as you can identify what you're looking for, that helps you choose your formula, okay? Because if I go back to my formula sheet, you see there's a formula that says T equals something. That's the one I want to use. T equals A minus P over P times R. And I just did a bunch of algebra for you to solve it for you so it's easier to identify. So, and then it says, okay, the investment will grow to $600. So if I use the formula, T equals A minus P over P times R. And remember, this was P was 500, R was 0.055, because I just changed that to a decimal. And then A is 600. Now I can plug it all into my calculator. 600 minus 500 over 500 times 0.055. And I will get a strange-ish answer, and it says round to the nearest tenth of a year. So that would be 3.6 years. Okay. So just in case you were struggling or you're like, I better practice this before it gets harder because this is our first section, right? So you have the worksheet. So I have these two problems right here. You could try them on your own, and then I have my answers in the slides that you can get, right? And then if you want even more practice, here's some practice right here, the worksheet and the key. So don't look at the key first, right? Just try it on the worksheet if you want more practice. I know you have more homework as well. So this is what's due tonight. PF4 practice more, so get that done. Your PF5 reading is due tonight. Your PF5 mini lesson isn't due till tomorrow night, okay? So just so you have that. Also, don't forget, if you did not do your vehicle project, I'm giving you a one-time thing that I'll accept late work today only for 50% credit. Yes? So if you didn't do that, make sure you did. Okay, do your exit ticket. Make sure you read carefully what it's asking for and put a $sign on there and 2 decimal places or it'll mark you wrong. Okay? And then good job today. Make sure you stick around if you have any other questions. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow.